The Bulls beat the Knicks in Madison Square Garden in a tight one, 119-115. They are now on a 2-game winning streak after beating Charlotte at home. And now, as we look at the standings, they're in second place, and they have sole possession of second place right behind the Brooklyn Nets. So, Bulls are looking pretty good right now. But welcome back to the TheSlamDuncan YouTube channel. This is my recap of the Bulls versus Knicks game, as this was definitely a pivotal game, in my opinion. And as we saw, it was a pretty good game for most of the game, and then it fell apart in the third quarter, but then the Bulls closed it out. And I want to talk about this game overall. We're going to jump into this game and kind of break down some film. And after that, I want to kind of talk about Billy Donovan winning Coach of the Month, and also how the Bulls have responded since that Rockets loss, which was when the last time I made that video. But before we get into it, though, make sure you hit that like button if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about this game. So, Bulls first half, it was really good to see. I thought this first half was probably the best of the year by the Bulls. They put up 69 points, which is, I think, tied the season high this year. And the Knicks looked dead in the water. The Bulls looked incredible defensively, made the Knicks turn it over a lot, got out in transition, were just absolutely playing very well in transition. Obviously, the first quarter is better than the second quarter, as you can see right here. The second quarter, both teams tied. But overall, that first half was just like, wow, this was great. I think a part of it was due to the Bulls had 2 days of rest, which was the first time in a while the Bulls had 2 days off in a row. And it allowed for a practice to actually happen. And as Casey Johnson reported, that the Bulls did not practice for a while because it was either a game every other night or a back-to-back, or 3 games in 4 nights for the Bulls, like the past 2 or 3 weeks. It was rough schedule for the Bulls, but they were able to get a practice in. And I think the practice was definitely evident in this game as guys, some different offensive sets, a lot of guys cutting that we haven't really seen cut before. And the defense was obviously very locked in. So I was very happy in that first half. It's like, wow, this is fantastic. And one of the things that's been so good for the Bulls to start off a game, as we saw in the Charlotte game as well, is just getting Vucevic involved. And here's the thing, though. I don't think the Bulls are really doing anything different from like the start of the season. Like the Bulls, I'm going to change my camera in just a second. So I apologize about that. The Bulls, I believe, like ever since the start of the season, when Vucevic was struggling, like I don't really think like they're doing anything different from that. I mean, just watch this right here. You're just seeing simple pick and the roll where Vucevic's top the key with the ball handler, and it's honestly just simple basketball. Watch. I mean, look, it's just simple pick and roll or handoff pick and roll with Zach LaVine, and they double Zach, and Vucevic is wide open. And this is the shot that he wasn't knocking down earlier, but he's hitting it now. And, I said, it's only a matter of time. Now, he obviously needed to get it going. Like, it was inexcusable for how he was playing. But, he's an all-star. It's just a matter of time before he starts hitting these. And as we saw in that Charlotte game, he was hitting them. And in this game as well, you saw that he was hitting his shots. And that's what the Bulls need. And you see how good this Bulls offense can be when he's hitting his shots. But again, same thing right here. Instead of LaVine, it's DeMar DeRozan, top of the key, pick and roll. Both guys go with DeRozan. As you can see, Mitchell Robinson is going way, way, way down here. Unnecessary by him because Julius Randle is on the help side. And this is Javonte Green. You leave Javonte Green open from 3-point range, in my opinion. But mistake by the Knicks. Good pass by DeMar DeRozan to Nikola Vucevic, top of the key. Wide open. These are shots that he got earlier in the season, just didn't knock him down. Now he's knocking him down. And when he's knocking down early shots, it basically sets the tone for the rest of the game. Because you saw the Knicks, you saw in that first play I showed you, right? That the Knicks doubled LaVine immediately off the pick and roll, which is something that they've done this season in the first 2 games. But, right, you saw there that when they doubled LaVine, he threw it to Vucevic, and Vucevic knocked down the open shot. That sets the tempo, showing that, hey, if you double LaVine or DeRozan, which a lot of teams have done, there's a guy named Vucevic that's going to make you pay. So that kind of sets the tempo for the game. And allows Vucevic to get involved early, and so that that LaVine and DeRozan are going to get their shots, but you always need that third guy, and getting a big man going early, I always think is the best thing to do. But that was part of the good stuff in the first half. Again, incredible first half. I probably thought it was the best first half of the season. You could argue the Charlotte game, but then the third quarter happened, and this is what I kind of want to focus in this video: is the third quarter and the fourth quarter. The third quarter, I kind of felt it. I was kind of thinking, like, this Bulls team is probably going to blow this lead because this is a Tom Thibodeau run team. We know Tibbs is, going to get everything out of his players every single night. And you knew once you started at the end of the second quarter, you kind of saw the Knicks were doing some full court press. And the Bulls kind of got bothered by it a little bit, but did a pretty decent job. But we know with this Bulls team, there are two things that kind of ruin this Bulls team. One is a zone, and then number two is the full court press. As we've seen the full court press absolutely ruin this Bulls team. We saw it in Toronto. I mean, we saw it in Portland. Like, you just know that teams are going to eventually go to it if they're down, right? And this is the problem with the Bulls right now, because we've seen this Bulls team have leads, but they blow leads. And, I mean, I think across the NBA, a lot of teams are blowing big leads, but this Bulls team blows a lot of leads. I don't know why. It's just how it is with this Bulls team, but I thought tonight was a big step. But one thing we need to keep in mind is this. This Bulls team against full court press really struggles, and we saw against this Knicks team that they weren't necessarily getting steals from the full court press, but it was slowing down the Bulls' offense because the Bulls were just able to get it past that half court line with 16 seconds left, and the Bulls weren't able to get into their offense until 14 seconds left of the shot clock. And at that point, it was just okay, scrap the play. We don't have time to run the play anymore. Just pick and roll with Vucevic and whoever, and miss shot, long rebound, Knicks are out and run, and that's how the run happened, right? So there's a couple of things going on. One, LaVine needs to get better at his ball handling. I understand that his hand is an issue, but he needs to get better at his ball handling. But number two is this. Out of the starting lineup, there's three ball handlers, right? You got Lonzo, you got LaVine, you got DeRozan. But out of those three, I trust DeMar DeRozan the most with the basketball. He's the dude that I trust the most to keep the ball in his hands and not turn it over when he's facing full court pressure. And that's an issue because you want DeRozan to kind of be in that half court area you're setting up to score, right? If you're asking DeRozan to bring the ball up the court and then also, score 25 plus points per game every single night and have to do a lot on the offensive end already before just bringing the ball up, that's a lot from DeMar DeRozan. And this is where this dude right here needs to get better. I mean, look, man, I'm not hating on Lonzo. It's just what I'm saying right here, man. It's just facts with this dude. I've praised Lonzo a lot on this channel. Again, do not take this as hate on Lonzo from me. But this dude needs to get better at his ball handling. Because right now, it is very evident that he gets bothered by full court pressure. And I don't think he even himself trusts himself to get past full court pressure without turning the ball over. And to allow guys like LaVine and DeRozan that now have to bring the ball up the court all the time, that dude needs to get better at his ball handling and being in control of the ball under full court pressure. And he's the guy that, people have said he's the guy that's supposed to be initiating everything, right? I'm looking at him to be able to get this Bulls team through that full court pressure. If he's able to start handling the ball more confidently, I think this full court pressure thing goes away, right? I think one counter that I thought Billy Donovan could have went to get rid of this full court pressure issue was going to Caruso to add the fourth ball handler out there. And he didn't do that early. We saw that Billy Donovan did not want to put Alex Caruso in early. And it's probably, obviously, he's testing the team. He's like, get through this. You're facing adversity. Get through it. This is your job right now to get through it. We're not just going to go to the bench and bail us out of this situation. So he tested the team, and then the team rose up to the challenge. But that full court pressure, man, it's been an issue for this Bulls team, and that has to stop. And I'm looking at this dude right here. He needs to get better with his ball handling so the Bulls can get past that full court pressure. Also, LaVine needs to get better at his ball handling. He's turning the ball over too much. But we saw at the Knicks, once they put in that full court pressure, the Bulls were just running too fast in their head. And sometimes, even when the Knicks couldn't even get set for the full court pressure, it led to stuff like this. You see LaVine, and this is off of a made three by Emmanuel quickly. He got the ball back in quick on the inbound, and you see he's the only dude up here in the half court. Lonzo's all the way out here. You have Vucevic at the half court line. You only see three Bulls players, and he's thinking, I got to go quick, which is not necessary, especially when the other team's on a run. You do not need to do this. But he instead drives, and he runs right into Fournier, and it's a turnover. This cannot happen, right? And that's what the full court pressure does to this Bulls team. Luckily, though, even though when things were going bad and the Bulls could have folded, they were bang in the fourth quarter. And man, oh man, DeMar DeRozan, I think he had 18 points in the fourth quarter. He has been absolutely incredible in the fourth quarter. I have to say also LaVine has been pretty good in the fourth quarter as well, as LaVine is third and fourth quarter scoring. DeMar's first quarter scoring. But you just see, like, it's honestly interesting to watch this Bulls team, because remember last year when the Bulls would always blow the lead in the fourth quarter, or like it was a close game, but then the Bulls would just fold in the fourth quarter. Now it's like the Bulls, for some odd reason, can't stop a team when they have the lead. Like the opposing team goes on a run when the Bulls have a double-digit lead, which is honestly, I would rather take that than, have the opposing team go on a run when it's a close game and then we blow the lead and then we're done for the game in the fourth quarter, right? So it's interesting to watch that, because when the game slows down now in that fourth quarter, when usually last year when the Bulls would absolutely fold, it's very simple now for this Bulls team. And the Bulls just look so calm, and they look like they understand what to do every single possession in crunch time. And right here is just a perfect example of it. I mean, you see that DeRozan's the main dude bringing the ball up the court. That's what he does in the fourth, and I want him to actually do that. I think he should be the main ball handler in crunch time. I absolutely think he should. And you see Donovan has put Caruso, and you can't see Lonzo, but Lonzo is all the way over here. You put the two good catch-and-shoot guys in the corner. They're also very good at cutting, so puts them in positions to cut as well. And then the big three right here, they have all this room to operate, and it's just simple pick and roll between DeRozan or Vucevic, or LaVine and Vucevic, or whatever they want to do. If it's not there initially with the main guy, throw it out to the other guy. That's just how Donovan wants to do this, and I'm giving praise to Donovan for this, because this is just smart on him. You put the ball in the hands of your best three players, let them go to work. They're smart enough, they know what to do, and you just see how hard this can be to guard if you're the Knicks, right? Because let's say, this is a pick and roll with Vucevic and DeRozan. You just see that, let's say they both go to DeRozan, Vucevic is wide open. If they only keep one on DeRozan, he gets into the lane, right? But let's say either of these guys, like Rose or Burks, cheats over to try to help. You got shooters and Caruso and Lonzo in the corner, right? And if the initial action isn't there, you throw it to LaVine and then you just reset. It's very smart by Donovan. And, I'm going to give Donovan credit. He won the Coach of the Month award. I definitely, was criticizing him after that Rockets game. But in the Charlotte game and in this game, I honestly think Donovan was hitting all the right buttons. And you just see right here how hard this is to guard, especially with no rim protector out there. You see DeRozan's like, no rim protector, these two guys in the corners, and Derrick Rose is not a shot blocker by any means. You see quickly has to stay on LaVine. If he cheats off LaVine can obviously shoot that three, so you can't cheat off him. Burks can't come off Alonzo, even though Alonzo had a horrible game shooting. But right here, it's simple. He didn't even run the pick and roll. He rejected the screen, and it's just simple for DeMar DeRozan to get into the lane. That's how hard it is to guard this Bulls team in crunch time. And I'm happy to see that, because even though that third quarter was awful and the Bulls gave up that lead, and we hope that the Bulls can soon start putting away teams early, I trust this team down the stretch, because I think this team has three closers. And when you run that action up at the top of the key area, you have Vucevic and DeRozan, LaVine. It is so difficult to guard those guys. And Donovan has his sets for crunch time, and this team just looks so much calmer under pressure and in crunch time. It's great to see. So great job by Billy Donovan in the last couple of games. I criticized him after that Rockets game, but with just a couple of little things, I think besides a few couple of little things that he's done, that's not English. I apologize. But besides a couple of things that he's done in some of the recent games, I think Donovan's done a really good job. Since that Rockets game. That Rockets game, he did not coach very well. But since that Rockets game, I think he has coached pretty well. One thing, though, that I want to see moving forward is that if a team goes to the zone against this Bulls team, put in Vucevic immediately. Because I think Vucevic is the immediate zone buster, and the opposing team cannot run zone anymore when that happens. But, that's my little talk about Donovan and Coach of the Year. But I want to talk about this big three a little bit more, man, because... Sorry, Coach of the Month. I'm so sorry, man. I'm tired. DeRozan, Vucevic, and LaVine, I believe, if I'm remembering, they put up 88 points together. You're seeing the big three, right? These guys understand how to play with each other. And look at the shot distribution. I mean, people say, like, Zach LaVine is taking too many shots. He took less shots than DeRozan. Like, the distribution is just perfect. 19, 18, 18. It's just honestly perfect with these guys. And again, I think Donovan is a great coach for these guys because he understands where to put guys and get them into their spots. But the one thing I do criticize Donovan on is just the rotations and when to put guys in and how to stop a run when you need to, maybe put in Caruso a little bit early. But either way, though, you're seeing just how good these three guys can be when all three of them are going. Like, they're really hard to guard. Obviously, Lonzo shooting this poorly. You hope that's not the case, but it looks like with Lonzo, he's either hitting everything or missing everything in each game. So you don't know which Lonzo is going to show up every night. But these three guys can carry an offense, and it was honestly just great to see all three of these guys play so well together in the past 2 games because we've been waiting for Vucevic to kind of get it going. He's got it going now, and you just see how good this offense can be. So honestly, just really good stuff by the offense and Billy Donovan, and just letting these guys just do their thing. But want to talk about since that Rockets game for the Chicago Bulls. So the Bulls lost to the Rockets, and I was like, man, this is horrible loss. Everything you've done so far this season just kind of went out the window after that Rockets game. But it's all about bouncing back. And I said the Magic was a must-win game. They won it. They won the game against the Magic convincingly. They made it close against the Heat. Definitely was a winnable game. But I'm not mad about that Heat game at all. A lot of people were freaking out after that Heat game, but I'm like, the Heat are contenders, and I don't have this Bulls team as a contender. Now, I do have this Bulls team making the playoffs and being 6 seed or higher. Probably not as higher than the 4 seed, though. But, losing to the Heat, I think the Heat are contenders. That's, you shouldn't be freaking out after that. It was definitely a winnable game. There are definitely things you should learn from that game, but, you don't need to freak out after that. But then, that Charlotte game was a very good game for the Bulls. Now, I thought the defense was not that great, but the offense was at an all-time high. That was the best offensive performance by the Bulls by far this season against Charlotte. And they won that game pretty well. Charlotte did cut the lead in that fourth quarter because of the zone, but overall, I thought it was a pretty good game for the Bulls. And then this game right here. This was a very, overall, pretty good game. That third quarter, we just need to move on and learn from it. But overall, pretty good game in a tough place to win. Madison Square Garden is not an easy place to win when you're the road team. So good job by this Bulls team for really bouncing back after that really bad loss to the Houston Rockets. And for all of those people that were like screaming, God, we're screwed after that Rockets loss, or all the people that were screaming, we're screwed after that Heat loss. I mean, like I said at the top of the video, we're second right now in the Eastern Conference. Now, granted, if you go on a 2-game losing streak, you fall to 7th, right? So it's important for this Bulls team to continue winning. But I have to say I'm very pleased how they bounced back after that Rockets loss. And I'm happy that this Bulls team is now winning, and that Vooch and the Big Three are playing really, really well together. So that's all I have for you in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, y'all.